Okay, what's up? Been a long time since I last streamed. How's everybody doing? Let's go ahead and check the audio. It's been a couple months since I last streamed, so let's just make sure the audio aspect, everything is good. Let me know if my audio or the music's too loud, one or the other. Let's go ahead and make the adjustments before we actually get started. Alright, well, hopefully you guys are doing pretty good. Now, I've been meaning to do this for a very long time, and quite a few of you had reminded me of getting back into the Japanese lessons. I don't even remember the last time I did this shit. Probably, like, at least 3 to 4 months ago, probably, more than likely. Again, I've been trying to get back on this, so finally here we are, but I'm probably going to provide a little bit of an overview for the first, 1, 2, 3 parts, and then we'll kind of move on into the new portions, because I do want to move on to new stuff. But, last time we did this, it was on a stream, and it was a little bit dysfunctional at times, because I was checking the chat log and all that, but I think it's a really good idea to interact with you guys during these lessons so you guys can ask questions and whatnot. So this is kind of the format I kind of went back with, but we'll see how things go. I'm going to keep it short, probably about 45 minutes to an hour. I'll leave the last 15-20 minutes opened up for questions, if you guys have any, and we're gonna have a little fun, like discussion or general translation requests and all that. We'll do that the last 15 to 20 minutes, but the first portion of it, I definitely do want to cover the meat of it in terms of actually providing some lessons. You know what I mean? Like, this, the whole point of this is helping you guys understand the Japanese language, and familiarity with Dragon Ball Z is only going to help. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm a big advocate of applying your personal interest to learning. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best way to do it. So we'll go back at it. Let me just catch up on the comments real fast, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I do want to tell everybody happy birthday to HyperX. I'm going to dedicate this Japanese lessons video and live stream to HyperX. So everybody wish him a happy birthday. I know you're one of the ones that have been hounding me to do another Japanese lesson video. So happy birthday to you, all right? Okay, let's see. So I do see quite a few of you guys, 42 people. Goddamn, you guys really want to learn Japanese, huh? So what's happening, everybody? Thanks for joining in. I didn't announce this or anything, so appreciate you guys hopping in on short notice. But so we'll go ahead and get started. I will say this: the most important thing, and I've said this before, the most important thing on how to learn and understand Japanese is getting a grasp of the phonetics. Okay, understanding the phonetics of how certain letters sound is the most important thing. Reading and writing's obviously very good. It's going to be very beneficial, but the bottom line is you want to be able to listen and also speak Japanese. That's, having a conversation or just dialogue or whatever the case is, that's going to be more important than just reading and writing. You know what I mean? That's going to have more real world applications, if you know what I mean. So that's how I'm going to approach it. That's the best way for me in terms of learning a new language, is just understanding the phonetics. So as you can see on the top left section, you'll see that it's got the Hiragana chart. The Hiragana, for those that didn't watch the previous parts, Hiragana is the most basic alphabet out of the Japanese language. So it's pretty much the most simplified version. You learn this when you're a kid, like in kindergarten or first grade or whatever. It's kind of similar to the US or Europe. You learn the letters and at a young age, and this is the first set. So just to simplify the explanation, there's 3 different sets of alphabets in the Japanese language. One is the Hiragana format that you're seeing on the top left section. The second is the katakana, and I can drag this out and show you guys real fast. So that's the katakana language, and the best way to describe this is any foreign languages that were imported, like foreign words that were imported into the Japanese language, you typically would use this katakana format. So the best example is Dragon Ball, right? It's a foreign word, it's a Western word. So you obviously use the katakana format, and that's why you'll probably recognize a couple of these, and we can just drag through this right here. So do is going to be located here. So that's the first letter of Dragon Ball Z. Do, and then where's the la at? La, and then go, and where's the un? Okay, so that's those 4 combinations were dragon. Okay, so I'm not gonna go into detail. I just want to give you an idea of what this set of alphabets is used for. Okay, so before we get into it, I did see a question of how long did it take me to learn Japanese, and I'll give you kind of a brief background for myself. I was originally born and grew up in Japan. I'm actually, full-blood Japanese, for those that didn't know. But I did spend some time back and forth, between the U.S. and Japan, and at some point I actually forgot how to speak Japanese. When I'd say about 3rd grade or so, I actually forgot how to speak the language completely, so I had to relearn everything because I was moving back to Japan around, I don't know, 4th or 5th grade. I can't remember exactly when, but so I mean, I've been there, you know what I mean? It was obviously easier for me to relearn everything, but I know how difficult it is to learn a foreign language. I mean, I've tried learning, French and, Russian in the past. I've took, courses in high school and college and all that, but from my own experience, the best way to learn, like I said, is the phonetics. So that's what we're going to focus on first, is the phonetics of these alphabets, line by line, and I'll provide examples, in the bottom right with the paint format. That's kind of what I'm going to use for this. Let me just change the width of this. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So as a review, I covered, I think, these two or three columns. So basically what happened here was, in the Japanese language, I mean, I'm guessing most of you guys already know this, but you start from the right to the left. And you actually start from the top right to the bottom left. So this is how you're going to go about it. Go through each column like this. In Western style, it's more like left to right, top to bottom, you know what I mean? But in the Japanese and Asian cultures or whatever, you start from this format. And I believe, other Asian countries have the similar setup. All right, so like I said, I did cover these 2 sets of alphabets, and we'll go through it one by one. It's real simple in terms of, how to write it, and I'm going to show you down here how to actually write the letters. So we'll start off with the first column, which is what I like to call pretty much the vowels. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the phonetics, because that'll be the most important. This right here is ah. So ah is in like AH. I know it says A right here, but pronounced like you're having an ah moment, whatever the hell it is. This letter right here, it's actually it's 2 movements really how to write this. So let me do this real fast, like that. My handwriting's terrible, by the way. So 2 to 3 handwritings. That's pretty much how you write that letter. And again, it's hard to write this on paint. Alright, so that is the ah sound. Again, let me just write this one more time. Alright, my handwriting's terrible, I know. But that's how you write it, okay? And that's the way to pronounce that is, as the phonetics suggests, is ah. And let's go to the next one, because combining, a couple of these, you can actually start making words. And I'll give you examples of that. It's hard to do that with just one letter, so we'll go through a couple of these first. All right, the second one is going to be E. Okay, so instead of the I, don't pronounce it like I, pronounce it pretty much like E. Okay, and the way to write this is simple, like that and that. Make sure you have this little pointer right here, because that will signify certain, letters differences compared to others. I'm kind of going ahead of myself right now, but there are letters that look pretty similar. And you have pointers that suggest what direction it's going, and that'll tell you what letter exactly it is. All right, so E is the second letter. And my handwriting's terrible, so I apologize in advance on that. All right, now that we actually know 2 letters, you can actually combine the first 2 letters and make a word out of it. So, right here, that's the ah sound, right? And then this is E. Well, this actually means a couple of things. And let me open up Word right here. And I'll give you an example. of what this is. I'm like, I have like a really ghetto setup. I'm like combining Microsoft Word and all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean? So just kind of bear with me on that. Alright, so basically what the two letters is, that's two letters that I just wrote down, right? Well, you can actually write a lot of combination of things. The easiest one I'm going to give you is this one. This actually equals love. So even just combining the first two letters of the alphabet, you can actually make words out of it, which is very interesting. Now, this right here is going to be the kanji letter format, and we're way too early on covering that type of stuff, so I just wanted to show you the kanji lettering for that, just to get started. Alright, so I know I'm getting a little bit slowed down, and I do need to kind of progress quicker, but I want to make sure everybody's on the same page, really. Alright, so let's go to the U sound. U is another vowel, so I, U, well, you can tell, you know, A, I, U, E, O, these are pretty much, I would classify them as vowels. Alright, so the way to write this is pretty much like that. That's how you're going to write it. And you can actually make another word out of combining the first three. So that's going to be the A. And if you combine A and U, you're going to have a word called Au. Well, that actually means meat. So you can actually make a word out of just the first three letters out of the alphabet, which is pretty crazy, right? Well, not only that, you can actually make a word out of this. So this is going to be the E sound, and this is going to be the U sound, right? So this combined, you can say U, which is a little bit weird because the way you phrase it will change a little bit, but that is actually going to say, translate to say. So the point being, you can combine a lot of these words even within the first couple of letters of the alphabet and make letters out of it. So really just understand the phonetics for now. That's the most important thing. Okay, the next one is going to be the S sound. And hang on one second. Hey, when you see comments with questions, can you let me know? Because I can't keep track of the chat.
There's lots. Yeah, no, I can tell you.
Just let me know the ones I need to answer, because I'm having a hard time like checking the comments and like trying to teach at the same time.
Alright, I got you.
Alright, so that, alright, sorry. I was talking to Social Fire. She's in the background chilling, so.
Hi, guys.
Say what's up to Social Fire. She'll be on the chat log too, I'm sure. Alright, so that is eh. Let me write that again. So this is, the best way to say it is like, that would be the phonetics for that, eh. Like A, you know what I mean? Alright, the way to write the letter itself, right here, is going to be like this. You can use one continuous movement, and my handwriting's terrible, but you know that you kind of get the, I want you to understand how to actually write the letters instead of just recognizing it. You know, let's try and kill as many birds as we can with one stone, you know what I mean? That's the way I live my life, so, okay? So that's going to be the S sound. You can actually make a word out of just this letter right here. So if we do, I switch to the Japanese language toolbar. So that's the S sound, right? And that is going to be like, the phonetics will be eh. Well, there's a couple things you can actually write with that. This is actually translates to a drawing. And all this is right here, the kanji, is pronounced eh. So there's a lot of things you can do with just one letter too. And we'll cover, you know, the kanji lettering like the further we get. And I'll provide examples in terms of like Dokkan Battle, you know what I mean? Like stuff you see on there and what that actually means. So we'll go over that stuff in a little while. Okay, next up we got the O sound. So O is pretty much sounds the exact way it's said right here. Just say O. The way to type this, and you notice it's a little bit similar. These two are a little bit similar in terms of how they look, but yeah, they're obviously different too. So the way to write this O sound, and it's like horrible handwriting. I need like a stylus pen or something. Okay, so that is the O sound. All right. Let's try that again. All right. I'll do that one more time so you guys can see it. So draw a straight line, make a cross, and then loop around, and then add a little line right there. That is going to be the O. So, all right. Let's provide some examples as to what this letter could stand for. Now, let's see. We got a couple of things right here we could make out with. Let's see. I'm trying to come up with words that we could combine the first 5 sets of letters. Okay. Yeah, for those that have to leave, sorry, I can't check the chat log frequently, so I'm missing a lot of comments, but I apologize in advance for that, man.
Someone wants to know how to say bread.
Bread?
Well, you know who wants to say bread.
Yeah, of course. Hey, we'll cover that in a little while. There's sections on here. Again, I'll take requests on translations at the end of this stream, like the last 15 or 20 minutes or so. That way we can kind of have a little fun, you know what I mean? Okay. Actually, I have a good one. This is, again, if you look here, refer back to this, O and E, right? So, like, pretty much like, oi. So, I mean, this exists in, like, Britain and whatnot, too. Like, you can get somebody's attention by saying oi. In Japan, it's, quite frequently used. Like, even Dragon Ball Z in the anime and manga, be like, oi! That's pretty much the phrase for that. That's pretty much like saying hey. So that's the combination of these 2 letters. And the katakana format for these is pretty much like that. Just to tell you. Alright? Just to give you an idea, you might have seen this in the manga if you're reading the Japanese version. I'm only merely providing an example, as to some of the stuff you might have seen before. Alright, so like that is an example of combining O and E. And that pretty much means like, hey. So, the easiest way to remember is like, oi. Okay, let's move on to the second column, the Kakikuke-ko set of alphabets. So now we got 2 columns worth of alphabets to work with, and once we go through this, you can actually combine a lot of these and make out more words. But let's go through this one by one. This right here is the ka symbol. Okay? So just remember, Ka as exactly as it sounds, ka. Okay? Alright, the way to write this is going to be like so. Okay, let's try that again. And again, my handwriting is terrible with Microsoft Paint, so just practice on your own if you get a chance. And yeah, I'm looking at my own handwriting and I'm like, God damn, this shit is terrible. I don't have the best of handwritings anyway. Alright, so that's gonna be your ka sound. Alright, let me combine 2 words for you. A word you guys actually know quite well. Ka and E. Let me change this to the katakana format. Yeah, ka and E. Does that sound familiar? Well, it might, because I'm actually spelling Kai, right? So that DVD set, Dragon Ball Kai or whatever it was, that's how you would say that in Japanese. So just giving you an example there. Alright, let's move on so we don't slow down the progression too much. This is going to be your ki sound. So we just moved from ka to ki, so let's start with the ki. The way to write this is you want to go like that. And just, my handwriting's terrible, so if you need a good example, just refer to this chart right here. Alright, that is a ki sound. So let me try this again. Okay? Alright, I'll do it slowly this time. So you pretty much draw like 2 lines, and then add a pointer at the end of that line, and then just a little smile right there. And that is going to be your ki symbol. Okay? A good example of ki I guess, would be, you can actually call a tree ki. Pretty straightforward stuff, right? To actually write in the kanji letter, it would probably be like that. That's going to be the ki in kanji, but we're not going to cover the kanji calligraphy too much. I just want to give you different variations of examples. Okay, so that's going to be your ki sound, and let's move to the next one. This is going to be your ku sound. So we went from ka, ki, and now we're on ku. So ku is a very simple alphabet letter. You just basically just do that. It's like the, what is it? Greater than sign. I always get that shit mixed up. Greater than, less than. Is that greater than? Yeah, that's less than, right? I work in finance and I'm good at math, but I don't even know what the damn greater than and less than simple is. That tells you how much I rely on Excel. Okay, so writing it again, that's ku. Okay? Alright, that's all that is, and that is the ku sound. Okay, let's see. Example. Okay. So that's the ka sound, and let's combine the ka and ku. Kaku actually means write. So if we pull up word again, kaku is the phonetics of that. And that's what the letter, hiragana letter, is for that. But if we do it in kanji, that's how it sounds. Alright, so kaku means to write. Okay? So that's probably the best example I can give you for that. Alright. Let's move on to ke. Ke is also pretty simple. Basically how to write this down is you go from this, combine that, and write it down like so. I'll do it slowly this time. And again, refer to this as like the best way to write it, the most prettiest, I guess. Like I'm half-assing this shit when I'm writing it down, so just keep that in mind. Okay. That's the ke sound. One more time. Alright, that is ke. The hiragana alphabet is actually pretty simple to write and you know whatnot. It's just a matter of memorizing the order of how to write it. That's really the main struggle you might face in the beginning. Instead of just drawing it the way it looks, you want to memorize the order of it too, because it's formatted that way for a reason. It's gonna make you writing out sentences a little bit easier by writing it in a certain order. Okay, so the ke sound right here. Again, the phonetics is going to be ke. All right, let me think of one example for that. This one is a little bit more difficult. I guess, let's see. I want to pull in as much Dragon Ball references as I can, but I'm a little bit struggling for this. So that's pretty much what I'm going to try and write in Japanese. So ake is going to be in Japanese like such. So that's actually a good question, AAA Gaming. What's the point of kanji when you have katakana and hiragana? Well, to answer your question, hiragana is the most basic format that you learn in Japanese as a young kid. Katakana is a very, very clear distinction on when to use that. You use katakana when you're using imported foreign words, like words from US or Europe or whatever. Like Dragon Ball Z is written specifically in the katakana format because there's no way to create that word in the kanji letter because it doesn't exist. The only way to do that is to maybe make a translation. Like, let me give you an idea. That's what dragon means in Japanese and Chinese. Basically, the hiragana format is that, but that's the kanji letter. However, it's not pronounced dragon. It's pronounced ryu. Okay, so in order to get a word like dragon directly into the Japanese word and sound it off exactly like that, you can't use the kanji format because there's no kanji letters that exist to make it sound that way. That's why a lot of the foreign words are pretty much used specifically in the katakana format, because there's no way to actually say it phonetically in a different kanji letter format. So that's kind of the couple reasons as to why there is an existence of kanji lettering besides katakana and hiragana. So just remember, hiragana, the takeaway today is hiragana is the most basic example of the alphabet. Okay, that's one you can pretty much write anything with, but it's going to look all over the place because you're going to have a shit ton of letters for one simple word, where you could use a kanji letter to condense like 4 or 5 letters into one letter. So hiragana is the most basic format. You can pretty much write down anything you want with that. However, you're going to want to use kanji letters and katakana letters for various other reasons. Katakana, again, is an alphabet you specifically use for foreign languages most of the time. Now, there are different reasons as to why you would use katakana, but the easiest way to describe right now the katakana format is the use of the foreign languages imported into Japan. Okay, and the kanji letter is basically just character symbols that condense a lot of letters into one, and it compresses things a little bit. That's pretty much the whole point of that. All right, so back to the ake thing. Okay, so a right here, and then ke is a combination of these two words, and you can actually make the kanji letter and combine them, which means open. All right, so I'm going to delete the kanji because it's confusing, but ake means to open. So a and ke. All right, let's go back to the chart here. So we're off to the last one right here, which is ko. All right, let's write down ko here. I hope I'm not moving too fast for you guys. I know I'm trying to be as simplistic as possible, but I don't get paid to teach, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a teacher full-time in my job. I work in finance, so I don't know shit about teaching, you know what I mean? So let me know if I'm moving too fast, and I'll slow down a little bit. All right, ko is pretty much this way. You're just going to write it down exactly like that. It's two pretty much processes that you combine, and that's pretty much it. Okay? Again, my handwriting's fucking terrible, I know. All right, that is ko. Now, you can actually make a word just out of this one letter. Let's see. Ko would be... Let me just try to... So, ko can actually equal, like, child. You can actually make a word out of just one letter here. Alright? So, to give you an example as to how to write that, that's how you write ko. Okay, and the kanji letter for that is as such, and the phonetics for that is ko, and what that equals is child or kid. You might actually see the symbol with the Son Goku. There are combinations of different various kanji letters that go into one that make out completely different kanji letters. I'm not gonna get that detailed right now because it'll confuse the shit out of y'all, so we'll pass on that. But ko can actually mean child. I'm trying to think of another example based on the alphabet that we have. Yeah, we can actually come up with one. So ko. So you got 3 letters there. We've already covered all these: the e sound, the ko sound, and u sound. That would be like, so that's how you would say it. Iko, right? Iko-u, meaning iko. So iko would actually mean, well, I guess if we simplified it, if I translated it directly, it'd be like, let's go. So you can actually make various different words out of combining just 3 letters. That's the crazy part about the Japanese language. It's highly condensed, so you can actually compress a lot of information into a lot shorter sentences. All right, so we made it through the first 3. So let's just review one last time, and we'll go through the phonetics because it is the most important thing. And I see Hutspan typing in phonetically correct Japanese way to say hot dogs. Hotdogu. Yeah, that's exactly how you say it in Japanese too. So you're actually very correct on that. The phonetics, typing it that way is perfect because Japanese people will say hotdogu. Okay, so let's go to the phonetics and we'll go through it. A, I, U, E, O. All right. Ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. Okay. I'm like debating if we should move on to the third set or if we just open it up for questions or not. What do you guys think? You guys want to keep going, or should we stop here and kind of have like a live discussion on some of the questions you guys might have? You can let me know. It doesn't matter to me which way we go about it. It's ultimately what your preference is. Okay. It says Bejito. I think Emilio's trying to say Vegito. The bar sound you would use for like if you're trying to say Vegeta. The extension sign, which is like the straight line. If you were trying to say Vegeta, you wouldn't use the straight line for that. You would actually use a different lettering for that. Just so you know.
Hi Greg says keep going.
Okay, well it is birthday boy, so I guess I'll fulfill his request. Okay, Breadlord, I'll translate bread for you one time, and then we got to move on. All right, bread is very, very simple. And you actually, I don't even know why you're asking me this, because you know a character in Dragon Ball that has that name. It's a direct translation for bread. And some of you guys in Europe will probably understand this because I think it's said this way in some of the European countries. Bread in Japanese, I have to write it in katakana because it's a foreign language. That's it. You know what that means? That means pan. Yes, it's pan. So I know I don't know how many Europeans are on the stream, but I know some countries say bread. I mean, bread is called pan, right? Whatever country it is or whatever language it is. But yeah, bread is pan in Japanese. All right, let's go to the third column. That's what it was. All right. So I'll just cover the phonetics real fast, and then we'll go through the letters one by one. Okay. The first one is sa, shi, su, se, and so. Okay? Sa, shi, su, se, so. So, do you notice a little bit of a pattern? How certain things sound similar based on the rows, right? Well, it's because it's rearranged or arranged in a format where it's phonetically similar. So right here, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, right? Sa, shi, su, se, so. They're phonetically the same in terms of like the pronunciation. Now the beginning letter for that phonetic is different, but the concept itself is pretty similar. I just want to mention that in case you guys caught that or not. Okay, so let's move on to the sa, which is the first out of the S column. So the way to write this is pretty much like so. Alright, slow that down, straight line, drop it down with a point, and then half smiley face. Pretty much. I know this explanation is probably corny as shit, but I don't really know any other way to explain it. Alright, that's how you write sa. And again, phonetics is important, so make sure you memorize the phonetics of how certain symbols sound. Okay, so that was a sa. And let me provide some examples. Well, see, I'm really trying to bring in Dragon Ball Z references to make it a lot easier. And yes, I will upload this live stream as a regular video once we conclude. So that way, if you guys want to reference back, you can certainly do so. Okay, all right. So let's see. I mean, sa and ka is probably the best example I can give you within the alphabets that we use. Saka. Alright, so you can see the sa and ka, right? Saka is the way to pronounce that. Okay, Saka actually means a hill. So let me bring back word. We're actually going to be saying hill in Japanese. So that is Saka. And the kanji is going to be like that. Alright, but we'll forget about the kanji for now. Okay, so combining these two letters, sa and ka, pronounced saka, can mean hill. Let me give you another example. That is sa and ke, if you refer back to the phonetic chart. Sa and ke here. Well, I mean, combine these four letters, S-A-K-E. Yeah, what does that mean? Getting fucked up, right? Sake. That's what that means. Okay. And the kanji letter for that would be like such. Alright. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm not promoting underage drinking or anything. I don't know how many of you are over 21, but that means sake. Sake is sake. I mean, that's pretty much the way it is, right? So it's funny how some of the words in Japanese are imported exported, I guess, into foreign, countries as a direct, phonetic sound. So it's interesting how the world works. Okay, so yeah, just combining sa and ke will give you sake. All right, let's move on to the shi sound. Shi is like that. I mean, that's pretty much a hook line. That's all you have to draw for the shi sound. So the shi letter, just pretty much draw a hook. And again, that is going to be shi. All right, let's combine some letters here to make a word. All right, let's combine this. Shi, a, e. So if let's refer back to the chart here. Shi, a, e. So if you say it a little bit faster, it's gonna be shiai. All right, shiai actually means match. So you've seen this in Dragon Ball quite a bit. So we'll just say it like that. I mean, that's how you would pronounce it in Japanese, shiai. So writing it in Japanese would be shiai, like that. However, in the manga, you would see it like this, right? Let me give you an example. The Tenkaichi Budokai, or the Tenkaichi World Tournament, you have matches, right? And you've seen it, I'm sure, in the clips or strips within the comic, this specific letter right here, shiai, because you use that quite a bit in terms of, matches with the Tenkaichi World Tournament and stuff like that. So Tenkaichi is, yeah, like such. That is not how you say that. So that is Tenkaichi Budokai. That's a little bit advanced. We're way too early for that one, but you probably recognize the symbols here. But this right here is shiai. You've seen it in the manga, but the hiragana format is such. And that is the shi, the a sound, and the e sound. Shiai. So that means match in Japanese. Like a fight, I guess. Like a battle, a match. Okay, that's the shi sound. Alright. Let's back out of this. Okay, where are we at? We're on the su sound. Right here. Funny looking symbol right here, right? All right, so for su, let's say, well, let's write it out first. Loop around and then just draw it back down. That's pretty much your su letter right here. Try that again. Loop that shit around and then bring it down. That's your su. Okay? Right here. That's the su phonetic. I know I'm drawing this terrible, so I'm amazed at how horrible my handwriting is on Microsoft Paint. Alright, one last time. You loop that shit around and then bring it down. That's going to be your su sound, as it suggests. Well, let's add another letter to this. Let's add the she sound. Well, what does that make? We obviously know it's su right here, and that's a she sound. Combine it, it's su and she. What is that? Oh yeah, sushi. Y'all know what sushi is. That's the good stuff. Okay, so yeah, just combining these two letters will be sushi. Alright, straightforward enough, right? So combining that, I mean, you could make out, like, you guys probably know Japanese a lot more than you think. So if you run through this chart, you could probably play around a little bit and make out Japanese words out of just looking at the phonetics. Like this right here, I know we're going ahead of ourselves, but combine these two, make two of these. What is that? Chi-Chi, right? Chi-Chi from, you know, Dragon Ball. Goku's wife. That's pretty much Chi-Chi right there. So, I mean, you could definitely take a look at this chart and actually make a lot of words and play around with it. That's another way to learn Japanese too, is like, find, you know, like characters in Dragon Ball Z and try and write it out, you know, based on looking at this phonetics chart. And that might actually help you learn too. Okay. All right, before we get slowed down, let's work on the last two, and then we'll take up questions after. I know we're running about 45 minutes into the stream already, so it's a Sunday, and I know some people have school. I hate doing this on a Sunday night right before school, but it's the only time I had to do it this weekend. All right, this one is going to be the se symbol. So pretty much as it says, se. So to write this, it's going to be like straight line, and you can write it like this and like so. Or you can write it like this and like that. This is actually a letter I forgot how to write the order for. That's funny as hell. I'm pretty sure it's like this. Okay. So that's going to be your se sound. Okay? Alright, I'll do it one last time slowly. So straight line. Like that. And then that. It's horrible, but you get the concept. Alright. Let's see. What can we make with the se sound? I'm trying to think. Well, we could combine se and ki right here. Like that. Seki. So the se and ki. So let's see what that actually is, right? So that's how you pronounce seki. Like so. Well, seki actually means it's not really chair. The direct translation would be seat. Like Japanese phrase that you'll hear a lot in school would be like seki ni tsuke, which means get seated. You know, the teacher will usually say that when they first come into the classroom, seki ni tsuke. So that means get seated or please be seated. So seki, the se and ki sound, will translate to an English word called seat. So that's an example I can give you for that. And the more we go through the alphabet, the easier it's going to be to give you Dragon Ball Z references, because there's going to be a lot more availability of letters to combine. But let's work on the last letter, and we'll get to the questions. And I did see, let's see, Emilio type in Kamehameha in Japanese and katakana format. I'll give you a feedback on that one. Kamehameha, you can actually write it multiple ways. What you'll see in Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball in the manga, it'll be in the Hiragana format, but the last letter will be in Kanji letter. So just, I mean, I'm not trying to confuse you, but this is what you'll see in the manga, right? Damn, I forgot how to write wave in Japanese. That's crazy. But something similar to this is what you'll see in the Japanese language for Kamehameha. Okay. We need to work on so, that's right. Okay. So in order to write so, you're going to write it like this. It's a little bit weird, I know. But this is the best way I can explain it. So drop it down. Pretty much make like a little lightning looking thing, and that's how you write the so symbol. Okay, so I know you can actually write it like this, but I'm just used to writing it like this. I mean, that's just me. But you can certainly write it like that. So would be, I don't know, what's a good way to write so? I'm trying to think. You know what, I just had a brain fart moment. I was writing so like this, right? Which you can certainly do, but I think I was combining the katakana format with the hiragana format. But I mean, this one is pretty weird because you can write it in multiple ways. I usually write it like this for some reason. That's how I was taught to write it. Okay. Alright, back to the so symbol. Let me look at the chart though, because I need to look at something to translate and make a word out of it. I guess this will be a good example. The so, u, and ka. So that's how to write it, but let's go to Word to actually write this out. Soka. So it'll be so, u, and ka, which will be like so, soka. Alright, so, u, and ka combine into a word called soka. It was actually a phrase, and you might have heard this in, you know, the anime film or whatever it is. Soka is, like, is that right? Question mark. Or, is that so? Question mark. That's pretty much a phrase that you would use responding to someone. Like, I can see, you know, a character like Vegeta or Goku actually responding in that fashion, and they might actually have in the anime. All right, so that's probably the best example I can give you for that. So we did cover a decent amount of stuff. I mean, the first 3 columns, I mean, it's a lot of stuff. Even if it's only 3 columns, that is a lot of stuff to cover. But you could certainly make out a lot of different words out of just 3 combinations. So I would definitely suggest referencing this chart. I mean, you could easily just look up, you know, just Google Hiragana chart, and a bunch of images will show up under Google. I mean, essentially, you probably want to save a copy of this on your desktop somewhere or on your phone or whatever the case is, and just kind of look through it periodically and try to make out different, you know, words based on whatever, you know, you're trying to translate. But I mean, I wouldn't say this is homework, but that's kind of what I would advise in terms of, you know, if you want to speed the process up of learning the language. But let's I guess we can take up questions now. I mean, we're 52 minutes in, so we'll spend about 15 minutes, I guess, just kind of, you know, I'll spend time talking to you guys and making sure I cover all the stuff that I need to cover, and any questions you guys had. I'm catching up on comments right now. It's yeah, quite a extensive list of stuff I missed out on. But you know, like, okay, first question I see on here is, can I have your girl? Well, I mean, shit, if you can take her away from me, be my guest. All right, back to the topics. All right, yeah, retro. I will actually publish this live stream once we complete it, and you'll be able to access the video as part of the archive. So, I mean, the best way, I mean, for my personal I mean, I told you, man, like, if he can take my girl like that, he can. I mean, all right, so let's get back on. I'm getting sidetracked a little bit. And how's it going, Nitro Next? Okay, how about we spend the next few minutes? I'll just translate stuff on you know, the Microsoft Word. You guys can give me some examples of stuff you want to see in Japanese, and we'll go ahead and translate it. Okay. All right. Can you do black? Like what? Goku Black? I can certainly translate that. We'll start off with that one. All right, Goku Black. Let me just type it in English first. Obviously, that's how you say it. Well, you can actually say everything in Japanese, and it's pronounced that way too. That's how you see Goku Black. I don't think you actually use the kanji letter for Son Goku. I can't remember how it was. I thought it was all katakana. But you definitely want to make black in the katakana format because it is a foreign word. That'll probably be how you translate Goku Black. Let's see. I'm trying to come up with a couple of examples. We'll say trunks. I don't know if that's a request or not, but let's go ahead and do that. Trunks would be like this. I mean, trunks in Japanese is pronounced trunks. So it's obviously an imported word. So you would have to write it in the katakana format, which is going to be, so that's the hiragana format, but it's incorrect. You never want to write it this way. That's how you want to write it. And you guys can probably recognize that. Yeah, I know it's a little bit confusing, Saha, and I do apologize. I mean, we went through a couple of different, I kind of had to compress a lot of information because I did have like parts 1, 2, and 3 in the past. So we kind of had to move quickly, but in the playlist, you'll see like a playlist for Japanese lessons. So if you need to kind of start from scratch, definitely refer to that. All right, Gohan. Gohan's pretty simple. That's how you say it in the hiragana format. But you don't want to write it like that because that's not how it's written in Japanese. Why am I doing that? That's right. So translate does not automatically pick it up. So that'll be Son Gohan in Japanese. How do you say FU in Japanese? Well, it is a commonly used word in Dragon Ball Z's manga and anime, so I don't feel bad about teaching it. FU, what's the best translation for that? There's so many profanity-laced curse words for that. I don't know, I guess kutabare would be one. That's kind of an indirect way to say FU. But that's probably the best example I can give you for that. Yeah, I do need to stop smoking. Is that is that the cough? So Vegeta is very simple. And I'll actually show you variations of names based on that. Vegeta is going to be in katakana, like so. Each of these are letters, and I can write down what they are. Like, nah, that's going to be confusing. That's how you would pronounce it. So each of these letters are like phonetically, you know, it would actually be V. It would actually be a B, like that, I guess. Phonetically speaking, that's probably what you would say. Vegeta. Yeah, you guys have it. Let's see. Well, you can actually make a couple words with similar, just by changing a couple things. That right there is Vegito. So you just change the back. I mean, obviously the first part is the same, but by changing the end, you can come up with Vegito. Well, it depends on the Saiyan names. I mean, yeah, I mean, most of these are derived from vegetables. That's kind of like the pun intended that, you know, Toriyama Akira had in mind when creating names. But, you know, like Son Goku and Son Gohan, those are, like Son Goku especially, I mean, those are from Chinese origins. You know, it's a mythical character from back in the day. So it depends. Like, yeah, most Saiyan names will have... a play on the word vegetables, you know. So yeah, most of it will be katakana for sure. If you were Vegeta, what would you do to Bulma? I ain't even gonna say that on the public record. I think you're gonna have an idea what that might be. Supreme Kai of Time is actually going to be a little bit difficult because it's a pretty long name. Tokino Kaioshin is what the Japanese name is. Now, you're going to have to use kanji letters for that because if you write it all in katakana, it's going to be a long list of letters. So I'll give you an example. Like Toki is the first part, and then no. Let me just write it for you. That's what Supreme Kai of Time would be. If we break this down, though, this right here is time. Okay? And this right here is, I would say the. That's probably the right one. Okay? And then this part is Supreme Kai. So, Supreme Kai of Time. So I guess it would be, instead of the, it would be of. So that's how it's pronounced. And then in the kanji format, it would be Toki no. See, there's no way to auto spell this in kanji because it doesn't exist anywhere outside of the Dragon Ball universe. God damn it. Wrong one. So as you can see, just for the word of Kai, there's a bunch of different kanji letters for it. So that would be the Supreme Kai time, right there, in kanji letters. But phonetically speaking, and broken down, this means, you know, the yellow part means time, and then the red no means of, and then Kaioshin is of time, or Supreme Kai. So phonetically, it would be something like like that. That's how it would be in the phonetics of the Japanese word. Yeah, you guys definitely do like using that word to replace the kai part. I ain't gonna say it out loud, but y'all get the drift. All right. Let me look up these comments. Trying to catch up on some of the other stuff on here. I mean, I hope this is like helping. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's. Yeah, I'm not like the best teacher at, teaching a new language or anything, obviously, but I hope this is somewhat helpful for you guys in terms of trying to at least learn the language. Hopefully it's giving you some sort of idea as to how to go about it. Like for Dokkan Battle, best way to here's a couple examples of kanji letters that you guys do recognize. I mean, this is pretty much stuff you see all the time in Dokkan Battle JP, right? That means super, and that means extreme. Alright, that's pretty much what that means right there. Now, this is why I don't ever use the highlight function. Cho, or super, you want to say it like that. That's how you would say this kanji in lettering. The kanji letter in yellow highlights, that's how you would say it. Alright, and this will be Goku. Yeah, and Mira, I do see Emilio, you typing in Mira in katakana, and that's actually correct. Let's go to, and I'll probably cut off the stream here in a little bit, but let's just go through a couple of things you see in Dokkan Battle just to give you an idea. Agility, right? These are all the types you see in the game. Tech, intelligence, strength, and physical type. Well, let's switch it up and put it in Japanese. So you actually learned these two letters earlier. This is so and ku, right? That's the kanji letter for that, but broken down. That's how phonetically it would sound. So that's your AGL, or agility. Tech would be like that. Waza. Intelligence. Let's see. What's the? I'm trying. I was like, I always forget this one. What the chi. That's what it was. There we go. Alright, and then strength would be so phonetically it would be chikara. I have to make this smaller font. There we go. Physical type. Tai. There we go. So a lot of these words, you guys obviously see this in the game already as it is if you do play JP. And, I mean, these are ways to actually learn how some of these letters are too. Like, I was going to do one by one with the type color, but I'm too lazy for that. So you guys recognize a lot of these letters without even knowing it. That's pretty much it. I mean, okay, OG, whatever you say. I ain't really sweating bullets anytime soon. But yeah, that's pretty much how how you would go about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you recognize these letters because you actually do use it in the game quite a bit. I mean, you look at these and understand what type they are. I mean, it's already embedded into your brain, so it's just a matter of how to pronounce it and knowing what it actually means, you know? So that's how it is phonetically speaking. And yeah, that's pretty much, you know, some of the concepts with that. All right, let's see. I mean, I could bring in a couple examples, but I mean, we're hitting like 10:30 p.m. East Coast time. You know, I know it's a Sunday evening, and a lot of you guys may have school tomorrow, so, you know, we'll go ahead and cut off the stream, but I do plan on doing this at least once a week. I definitely need to do that, you know what I mean? Like, otherwise, like, you guys are going to forget a lot of the stuff that's covered on the video, so I'll make sure to cover this on a more regular basis, you know what I mean? Like, I feel bad it's been such a long time since I last did this, but hopefully it'll be on a more regular basis. Like, stuff with my work is going to start slowing down toward year end. It's just been like it's typically like the busiest time of the year for me until, you know, right before Christmas. So hopefully things will slow down. I'll get on a more easier schedule, and you know, we'll go from there. But hopefully this is helping you guys. And if you think I can do things a little bit differently to make it easier for you guys to learn, let me know. I mean, any feedback is good in terms of making the experience for you guys better, and the learning opportunity a little bit easier. So if you have any suggestions, definitely let me know. I mean, we have a Discord server now, so you can always, you know, hop in and message me there, or hit me up on Instagram or Twitter, whatever the case is. But, you know, hopefully this will be on a more regular basis. We'll do this more frequently. Hopefully you guys will know Japanese by, I don't know, let's hope for, you know, end of 2019 you guys can speak Japanese. That'd be a crazy thing if a lot of you guys were able to speak Japanese by then. But we'll go ahead and cut it off here. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, we'll do this on a more regular basis. If I don't, get on my ass about it. Tell me I need to get on this shit. If I'm slacking and not doing videos on a regular basis, just hound my ass about it. Let me know. Remind me. Tell me to get my shit together, and I'll try and do so. All right? Hopefully you guys enjoy the stream. We'll do this again. Thanks a lot for joining, and we'll see you guys next week with the Japanese lessons. Oh, Discord server. Go to my latest video, and I've got links in the channel description for every video I have. So the server link will be on there, so make sure to check that out if you don't know where it is. All right, but before we go off, should I actually make a video explaining the kanji letters and all that in the game itself, or is that not even worth it at this point? It doesn't matter to me, but, you know, let me know if that's something that would help you guys. You know, global players trying to transition to JP or JB players that are new. I just saw the comment from Cotton Ball, so that's why I'm asking. So just let me know. We'll, you know, remind me on Discord or whatever, and if I have time for it, I'll also do that kind of video. The more Japanese I expose you guys to, the more you guys will actually learn, so maybe it's a good idea. We'll go from there. We'll talk about it throughout the week. Maybe I'll do a video on the weekend. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a Japanese lessons video specifically on stuff you see in Dokkan Battle JP. Maybe that's a good way to teach Japanese too. But we'll talk about all that another time. I want to let you guys go so you guys can get rested before school, work, whatever it is. So I'll catch you guys later. Again, thanks for watching. Peace out.